complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. You complain about the things I cook. You complain about the way I look. You complain about the clothes I wear. And you don't like my hair. You complain because I don't work. You say I'm a no good jerk. And then I go to work and you go berserk. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. You complain about the things I cook. You complain about the way I look. You complain about the clothes I wear. And you don't like my hair. You complain because I don't work. You say I'm a no.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Pinnacle Junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Pinnacle Junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press
For a stalled vehicle in the roadway, North Davis Highway at Airport Boulevard. Watch for an accident in Mobile, Spring Hill Avenue at Bishop Lane. We also have an accident south on I-65 on the Delta Bridge, about 1 mile past Highway 225. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oof, shocking time to lose a whole strut.
Ugh. Comedy is not your thing, but I do know that Rock Auto has what I need to fix it.
With parts shipped right to your door. No kidding.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance to win $2,500. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Liberty. That's Liberty. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Hi, Henry. I heard you talking about slamming your toupee in your briefcase or suitcase or trunk or something. Do you think that it would behoove you to go ahead and rent those things? I mean, people lease cars. Sometimes they don't buy them. And you have to turn them back in. You get miles on them. How many miles? I don't know how many miles or hours. Your toupee is like a tractor. I guess it would be hours. How many hours your toupee has on it. But let's say you got maybe 100 hours on a toupee, you could turn it back in or get a free wash or detail or something. I know I get a free bag of dog food after 10 or something like that with my punch card. Maybe.
Message deleted.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile. That's my wonderful town.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it very much. You're listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I really do. Once again, here we are together. Just the two of us, me and you. Trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? What has gotten into people? What has gotten people so nuts? Maybe we can figure it out together. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. A lot to talk about. As usual, so much to talk about on the Uncle Henry Show today. Real quick, though, I've been looking at the news stories today about yesterday's big traffic tie-up on the Bayway. There was an enormous traffic issue on the Bayway yesterday evening. And I saw that it was all about a cow that had gotten off of a trailer somehow on the Bayway. And it was named Luna. And the cow was harmed. It had road rash or something on the cow when it came out onto the Bayway, and unfortunately the cow had to be euthanized. And I was surprised, and I apologize for opening the program with this sentiment, because it was unexpected that I would have feelings about a strange cow. Usually my feelings toward cows that I don't know, or that I would like to eat them. I'm a big fan of eating beef. I am. It's still a favorite. It's been a favorite since I was a child. I was very blessed to be raised at a time when beef was affordable, even for the middle and lower class individuals of our country, people on the lower end of the economic spectrum. And so my parents were able to afford, even though they were young and uneducated and didn't know what they were doing, desperately trying to survive as young parents, they still could earn enough to provide hamburger. We weren't eating a lot of steaks, but I was raised on the hamburger. And I've always had a great love and affection for it. I really do. Still at this age, there's very few things that satisfy as much as beef. So I was surprised when I saw this story, and I started feeling really sorry for the cow. I did. Now, I hope this doesn't mean I'm going to stop eating beef anytime soon. I don't plan to. In fact, I'm already trying to figure out when are the next times I can eat beef. But I did. I felt sorry for the cow. Felt sorry for it. Nobody wants to, not even a cow, would want to face their end of time on the planet, on the Bayway. So anyway, prayers out for the family of the cow and everybody involved that knew the cow, or maybe had plans to eat it, whatever it was. Just prayers for everybody involved. And also for the people that were maybe waiting and trying to get somewhere and couldn't for a long, long time. All right, here we are. Uncle Henry Show, 251-479-2723. Now, the stock market went way up today. President Trump calling off some attacks on Iran, saying that there's a deal, that he has reached a great settlement deal to end the war, and it's about to be finalized. Here's a little bit of President Trump on that topic.
We have a signing soon, and the documents are in pretty final shape, so we'll see. We'll see. Very good. Should be done. That should be done pretty quickly. They want it every bit as much as everybody else wants it.
Okay, so this sounds good. You know, markets heard it, and markets went up. Now, I decided after I heard this, I was going to look at the news, the different news websites that are in English out of the Middle East, just to see what they're reporting. Are they excited? And so I went to the Jerusalem Post. I see the Jerusalem Post reporting that President Trump announced he'd canceled these strikes, that a deal had been agreed upon. And President Trump, in a tweet today, said the deal had been approved by all involved parties, including the U.S., Israel, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, other countries. Now, the Jerusalem Post says that Prime Minister Netanyahu's office says that Israel not a part of this. Israel not a part of this memorandum of understanding. And they do not recognize an agreement being reached. So Israel not yet in on this. And also Jerusalem Post reporting what their news is reporting. Now, their news says there is a high probability that the leadership will approve the agreement, but their news agency in Iran went on to say that President Trump has announced a deal 38 times in the last 2 months, and until Iran announces it, you shouldn't plan on it.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Watch for an accident in Mobile, Spring Hill Avenue at Bishop Lane. Also slow on Highway 31 south. From Highway 59 to Spanish Fort, it's a 19-minute drive. Very slow going crossing the Bayway from I-65 to the Eastern Shore at an extra half hour of drive time. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals.
YouTube viewers, if there are any, let's see if you're watching. I will confirm whether or not there are YouTube viewers, and that will tell me whether or not I need to speak during commercial breaks on the radio. And I see, there's a tiny number watching. T9's the number. Let's see. Ben Griffin, hello to Ben Griffin. Sharon of Fairhope, hello to you. 69-year-old Chris of West Loxley, no, I will not be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Zach Top concert at the Wharf in Orange Beach. Be working down there. JD, yes, furniture was delivered at 10 minutes until 8 p.m. because of all the traffic tie-ups from the cow. The furniture delivery people were soldiering forward, delivering late into the evening. Bamba Big Man, hello to you. Chris Cook, hello to you. Richard Harvey. Spencer Smith, the aggressive, muscular drummer, Spencer Smith. Thank you for looking out at the Uncle Henry Show on YouTube. I'm going to be back on the radio here in about 2 minutes. Let me see. I don't know if I want the bumper music that I've got. I got some lined up. It's okay. It's not filth music, but I might want to change it. Go. Pardon me while I'm changing out the bumper music. They have some different in there. I know this is exciting to see an elderly man using software. It'll be a lot more exciting when I'm using the new software and panicking next week. Hendrix would not be appreciated by all, but by you. I understand that. All right, what can I tell you about? Let me see. I did see some disgusting, weird news stories today. Sonoma, California. Officials in Sonoma, California have stopped distribution of their new summer recreation guide that they put together for their city because somehow the guide ended up containing pornographic images. So the city has launched an investigation to find out how pornographic images ended up in their summer recreation guide for Sonoma. It's a lesson. We need to remember there's always perverts out there. There are. It's terrible. They're there. I might need to do a deep dive into Proverbs and see if there's something I can find out about this.
Blindster.com.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM, telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let me see. Let me go to the voicemail. I got a voicemail message, and it has to do with the World Cup stuff that is going on.
Roll Tide, huh? A bit of news here on coming from the front porch in West Loxley today. Brief update, whatever you want to call it. There's one person in the household here at West Loxley that is extremely pleased today, although he never shows much, if any, emotion. But it is right up his alley. Art loves the soccer.
That would be 69-year-old Chris's stepson, Art, who's been in the country for quite some time, but still loves the dadgum soccer.
Loves the soccer. And especially when they play the World Cup soccer. Well, about an hour and a half ago, the World Cup began with its first match betwixt Mexico and South Africa. And he is stretched out on the couch in there, watching it on the 65-inch Samsung. So there's at least one, and many more, I'm sure, happy campers over in this part of Baldwin County. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide, roll. Yes, if you're a lover of the soccer, the congratulations to you and all of the soccer stuff that we're being inundated with in our culture right now. My company, iHeartMedia, has soccer updates every hour during the day on all of our stations. There'll be a soccer update sometime. Let's see, when is it scheduled to happen here? Sometime between 5:45 and 6 o'clock, we'll have a soccer update here on the Uncle Henry Show because everybody's just loving the World Cup soccer. Now, I've enjoyed one thing about it. You may have already heard about this. There are a lot of people from Europe visiting the United States of America to see World Cup soccer. And they're posting about it on social media, about all the wonderful things they're finding in the United States of America. And there's a guy named Freddie, Freddy, on the X app, formerly known as Twitter. His X handle is Freddie LA7. He was in Auburn for the big game that was up in Auburn, and then he drove and spent the night in Fairhope last night. And this guy started posting videos of Fairhope. He's got over 350,000 followers worldwide on his X account. And as of right now, his video of Magnolia Beach in Fairhope has gotten 1.4 million views, 52,000 likes, and all kind of comments of people talking about how beautiful Alabama is. He also, he posted a few more videos of Fairhope. I think he posted pictures of Buck Ease, and people are just reacting so positively to the Europeans loving Alabama, the state of Alabama. A bunch of Florida people are telling him you need to come over in our direction and see the paradise of Florida. There's other people giving him advice on where to go in Louisiana because the guy's headed to Houston. It is so wonderful to see these Europeans, like this German guy, seeing the United States of America outside of major cities. And nothing wrong with the big cities. We got some nice big cities in this country, allegedly. But a lot of these tourists are seeing the United States of America that they never hear about. They hear about us in their news, and probably they think the entire country is like Chicago, Los Angeles, or New York, or some version of that. And they think Alabama is gone with the wind. Well, they're learning the real thing, and it's wonderful to see 1.5 million already looking at that video of Fairhope, Magnolia Beach. Just love it. Just love seeing the Europeans getting exposed to the true United States of America. And where better to see that? I know we've got our entire country is gorgeous. There's so many beautiful places all around the United States and good people all around the country. But the type of hospitality that you're going to encounter in our neck of the woods, I'm delighted that the guy has driven through Alabama and spent the night in Fairhope. In fact, Governor Ivey has reached out to him. I think Katie Britt has reached out to him. People are now talking about how they want to raise money to bring the German guy back for a college football Saturday in the fall. Because they're saying if you think you're enjoying the South right now, if you like this southern United States right now in June, try visiting in October when we got the football going on. So that is one thing about having the World Cup here that has been great, is seeing the Europeans reacting to the United States of America and seeing things they don't necessarily see, like Buc-ee's. I think he described Buc-ee's as surreal, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I haven't looked at all of his social media posts, but quite impressed by what we've got to offer here, what our culture has to offer here in South Alabama. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, you were live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, I've been following politics for many, many years, since around the time Nixon was president.
Yes.
And I remember 2016 saying, Hillary is running a campaign that I just can't fathom, because she's not saying anything about what she wants to do, what her plans are for the future, anything about the way things are now that she would change, or why she wants to keep it and why it's worth keeping. Everything was about what an SOB Trump is.
Right.
And what horrible people his supporters are.
Right.
Well, now, 10 years later, I'm seeing the same things among my own people sniping against each other in these primary races for the runoff. And I don't think, Uncle Henry, that any of the people that I voted for made it into the runoff. And I'm not sure I can support any of these people because everything they're doing is not having anything to do with what my plans are for the future.
Hey, Bert, I'm up on the commercial break for the news. Do you want to hang on and make your point?
Go ahead. Keep me on.
All right, very good. Bert, when we come back.
And watch for a disabled vehicle on I-10 eastbound at the Texas Street exit in Mobile. And we have heavy congestion on the Bayway from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 38-minute drive. Also, I-10 East is shut down due to a crash between the Escambia Bay Bridge and Avalon Boulevard. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America, sponsor of the FIFA World Cup.
We did learn yesterday that if you wanted to disrupt our local economy, all you'd need would be a few cows on the Bayway and on the Causeway, and maybe put a few on the Concord Africatown Bridge. That's all we need is a few cows to disrupt the entire economy.
Than 50 cases against a local roofing and window company under investigation by Mobile police. Now, more customers are filing consumer complaints with the Alabama Home Builder Licensure Board against All Weather Roofing and Construction LLC and Windows Depot USA of Mobile. Complainants say they paid thousands of dollars to these businesses, but no services were delivered. Mobile County Sheriff's Office says a device found underwater at Big Creek Lake last month appeared to be a military MK2 fragmentation grenade missing its spoon, meaning officials considered it was armed. Safely recovered and detonated after divers found it during a routine dam inspection last month. Alabama baseball arrives in Omaha ahead of the College World Series. Coach Rob Vaughn says he likes the way the team's approaching the challenge.
I think they understand what's sitting in front of them.
The Tide opens World Series play against Oklahoma on Saturday. I'm Angie Norvell.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump had been threatening more strikes on Iran today, but now says U.S. and Iran have come to a great settlement, a deal to end the war, and he's expected it to be signed soon.
And most importantly, we have a deal that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which was the whole purpose of what we had to go through to get this.
This all comes less than a day after the U.S. launched dozens of strikes on Iran in retaliation for a helicopter that was shot down over the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump, by the way, says the strait will be open as part of this deal. The Fuse Cup is officially underway. The opening match of the tournament seeing Mexico defeat South Africa in Mexico City. Final score 2-0.
It's Raul Jimenez, and it's 2-0.
Oh, baby, that crowd is fired up in Mexico City. The sound courtesy of Fox Sports. The second goal coming in the 67th minute. The United States opening game set for tomorrow against Paraguay, 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Americans listening to Fox News.
YouTube viewers going to be back on the radio here in about 3 minutes with Bert and another caller. Have another caller waiting. Hello to Chuck. Thank you for looking in. The Love Freak 69. I'm not into the soccer in any way, shape, or form. But if people want to watch it, go right ahead. Just leave me out of it. That's all. Just leave me out of it. Ben, I'm glad you're you and Chuck are offering steer talk. Let's see. Back on the radio here in about a minute and a half with Bert. Norman Richardson, wonderful to see you. I hope everything is going good out there in West Mobile, way west, where everybody has moved. Shelby Mitchell just going by. I'm looking for more weird news. Some of it was too dirty for me to tell you about.
Oh, 710 WNTM.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number 251-479-2723. Bert has been patiently hanging on. And Bert, I believe you were expressing disappointment that the Republicans that made it into the primary runoff, they're not talking about any of their own plans of what they would do in the future. Is that right?
Yes, Uncle Henry, and I would love to see something like that. When this kind of issue or this kind of controversy comes up for a decision by me, how am I going to decide? How am I going to vote? And all the voters would love to see something like that. I really think they would. What do we plan to do instead of what a rotten person the other guy is? And Uncle Henry, the first one that I remember in all the years that I've been following politics that was 100% negative was Richard Shelby's campaign against incumbent Senator Jeremiah Denton. When he was coming at him from the Mondale left and saying he voted to cut your Social Security. And it's only gotten worse in the last 40 years since then. And I would love to see, this is what I plan to do, instead of, this is what a rotten person the other candidate is. I don't think that's so much to ask, Uncle Henry. The voters want to know what they're voting for and give us something to vote for. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Well, why do you think the advertising has changed in the way that it has? Is it because that's what works? Are they just doing what works and they just don't care about telling us what they're going to do?
I guess that's what motivates the voters, is that they vote against instead of voting for. I would love to see specifics, like when this specific thing comes up, that the other candidate is supported this way and I'm going to support that way, and I'm going to vote this way and the other candidate is going to vote that way. I've seen a very, very little bit of that, but mostly it's gotten so personal. It's gotten into personal stuff from background, like he had divorces, he had custody cases.
Right.
I don't even see stuff like this. It's unbelievable, Henry. Now, the only time a real personal issue has come up has been when there was a city council member that I've mentioned on this show in times past that had an extreme scandal with a girlfriend that was deceased, and he was in the crosshairs for blame.
Right.
But nobody anticipated anything like that in any of the campaigns before then. Nobody said, this is the kind of thing he's done in the past, and he might actually pull a trigger on somebody.
Right.
I never saw anything like that until it actually happened.
Right.
I'm seeing things like that. I don't know, Henry, whether that would sway my vote or not. If a candidate has had scandals in his past, well, a lot of us has had scandals in our past.
Right.
My parents' first marriages before they got married and had me weren't exactly blot free. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There were divorces in a lot of people's past. A lot of things in people's past.
Right.
I don't want to hear all that much about people's past. I want to hear what you plan to do if you get elected to this office. How you would vote on this or that issue versus how the other candidate would be likely to vote. And by the way, also, which people are backing y'all that y'all are indebted to in one way or the other, that y'all are going to vote on their side because they're providing all y'all's money.
Yes. All of that is
You know what I
useful.
mean?
Yes. Who's paying you? Yeah, we'd like to know all of that.
And therefore, who you're indebted to,
Right.
and whose interest you got to vote for once you get in office.
That's right.
That's what I want to know.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
I do. All right. Well, Bert, thank you very much for your call and for expressing that.
Thank you for taking my call, Ken.
There he goes, Bert. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, how you doing?
Snake Trapper. You are live on the radio, Snake Trapper.
Hey, Uncle Henry, I have a coworker that was at a church function yesterday evening, and the boys were out there in the yard playing ball, throwing the ball around, and it got by the kid. Anyway, he went and run to get the ball, and as he reached down to pick it up, Uncle Henry, a copperhead snake hit him right in his hand.
Oh, okay.
And so his mother and father, which I work with the dad, they got him to Sacred Heart Hospital and went to administering anti-venom to the child. And this morning, Uncle Henry, they had done give him 3 vials of anti-venom. And this morning, things were looking good, but about 3 o'clock, man, his dang hand and whole arm went to swelling. And so they're going to wind up having to keep him a few more days. And they fixing to give the child they probably already give it to him now, his 4th vial of anti-venom. Henry, that thing got him pretty bad.
So what is the prognosis? Is he going to be able to, is he going to make it? Is everything going to be okay?
Well, Uncle Henry, like I said, it was looking bright this morning, but it turned for the worst. They got him there in time, and they've got the anti-venom in him in time, but he's facing a uphill battle, Henry. The copperhead has a hemotoxin, and what that venom does, it actually kills your white blood cells. Can affect your organs. You could lose skin tissue. You can lose limbs. So I just asked everybody out there in Radio Land to kind of say a little prayer for the Clark family, and kind of because they are definitely on a tough road to recovery for this child. Like I said, I believe he's going to be all right because they got him in time, and the wound improved from overnight till this morning, and then, like I said, it started getting worse again. So, yeah, man, I just tell everybody out there to be aware, Henry, because copperheads, more people in this country or this part of the country receive copperhead snake bites than any other, because the rattlesnake will rattle and let you know they're near.
Right.
The cottonmouth will, shake his tail and limbs and logs and show you his mouth, try to avoid you. But the copperhead is a silent one, Uncle Henry, and it is a very aggressive one. So like I said, the child's got.
Have you been bit by a copperhead in your? I know you've been bitten many times by snakes. Have you ever been bitten by a copperhead?
Not been bit by one, Uncle Henry, but I have been exposed to the copper venom. It's a neurotoxin, like I said. Your cottonmouth and your rattlesnake and your copperhead all have the same type of venom. Now, the coral snake in our area, it's a neurotoxin. It affects your nerves and your respiratory system and all that. But yes, sir, I have been exposed to that venom, and you know, like I said, every bite, if it had just got the child in a muscle, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But it appears that it got him pretty bad. So, like I said, man, I posted also pictures of his mother's post on my snake page. So, like I said, you can see the difference. This morning, the hand was swollen up to the wrist, but late this evening, the whole arm is starting to swell. So they going to wind up keeping him through the weekend, and they thought that they might let him go home late this evening until the other swelling started. So, man, they're just so unpredictable, Uncle Henry.
Yeah, they are. I'll pray, and I hope that those listening that pray will join in with us on this, because none of us would ever want to see anybody, especially a child, have that kind of an injury.
Yes, sir. One thing, the next time it won't be as bad for him. I know that's not a good way to look at it, but, it appears that he received a lot of venom.
Wow. All right, well, Snake Trapper, thank you for calling. Thank you for telling us about that.
Yes, sir, Uncle Henry. You take care, my buddy.
You too, Snake Trapper, and you can find that on Facebook. It's 2 words, Snake Trapper. Snake Trapper, 2 words on Facebook.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
If you're traveling south on I-65, an accident on the Delta bridges near mile marker 28 has been cleared. The big problem right now is the closure of I-10 eastbound between the Escambia Bay Bridge and Avalon Boulevard in Milton due to an accident. Also, a disabled vehicle is blocking lanes on eastbound I-10 approaching Texas Street.
This report is sponsored by Staples. Staples.
Okay. YouTube viewers, thank you for watching on YouTube. Going to be back. Hey, Pat and Ellie. Nice to see Pat and Ellie. Going to be back on the radio in just a few minutes. Let me see if I can find anything to tell you about during the commercial break. Let's see, in Deerfield Beach, Florida, Corey Coddington allegedly crashed his SUV into a tree. Then he carjacked a woman who stopped to check on him. So a good Samaritan stopped to check and make sure he was okay, and he grabbed her car and drove off. Then he drove to a Chick-fil-A nearby. Witnesses said he got out of the SUV covered in blood, ran up to a child and stole a French fry from the child, and demanded a milkshake. A bystander asked him if he was okay, and he reportedly snapped, "Does it look like I'm okay?" He was arrested. Police recovered more than 10 grams of MDMA drug from his backpack. And I do not know what that drug does, but they found drugs in his backpack. Employees of Chick-fil-A gave the child replacement French fries after the bloody criminal stole his French fry. How better would life be if our country really cracked down on the drugs? If we really did. Let's see. What else can I tell you about? Oh, there was a poll, let's see. Of chicken restaurants in our country, national poll. Chick-fil-A number 1, KFC number 2, Popeyes number 3, Raising Cane's 4th. I do feel like I'm living in the golden age of fried chicken products in our country. It has been we've got our issues in this country, but we've got a lot to be proud of, including our fried chicken. There's a lot of it, and it's good. All right, let's see. I don't think there's any other news to share. Before I go back on the radio. "69-year-old Chris, Muscular Dystrophy Association," yes, MDA.
World Cup now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Available everywhere.
I'm sorry, I talked during the soccer update.
NTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes on the Uncle Henry Show. And after that, there's another half hour of Uncle Henry Show from 6 to 6:30. I'm going to talk to the director of a documentary. The guy's name is James Keach. He's the brother of Stacy Keach, the actor. He's done a documentary about Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers. So I'm going to interview this guy right after 6 o'clock and find out why would you do a documentary on the Allman Brothers? I mean, is there nobody else? Has anybody done an Andy Williams documentary? I don't think I've seen one. Anyway, that's coming up. We'll find out about Greg Allman in the next half hour of the Uncle Henry Show. Now, let's see. Yesterday on the Uncle Henry Show in the 6 p.m. hour, I shared a story about the Pritchard Water Board. And Fox 10 did a story this week about the person that was put in charge of the Pritchard Water Board, just talking about how tremendous the need is they need millions in grant money to keep going, that if they don't have continuous grant money, the average water bill in Pritchard would go up to like $200 a month, and just all kind of talk about what to do about Pritchard Water. And I got, I believe Navco Bill called in and left messages about the Pritchard Water Board story.
Uncle Henry, caught your show yesterday, and saw that news report about the Pritchard Water Board and wanting a merger with Moz.
That's right. They want to merge with Moz.
I couldn't scream loud enough. There's no way an HE double hockey stick Moz should go anywhere near that system. It'll only wind up costing everybody more money. Stay away from it. Don't go anywhere near it. I'm sorry, but you get what you vote for. Have a nice day.
All right, there's Navco Bill, very strong opinions about Moz taking over Pritchard Water. And then he called back. His opinions were so strong, he needed an additional message to underline his initial call.
still hot under the collar about that Pritchard Water Board and them folks stole all that money. But I think I've come up with a partial solution. Round them all up, all them folks that stole that money, being it's now getting to be June and July, and when there's a water leak over there, you get them folks and you take them to the site of the water leak in shackles and chains, you give them picks and shovels, and you make them dig up the pipes and dig up the ground around it so it can be repaired. And maybe you let them have a little water. Then, when they're done with that, the next day, take them to the next water leak and have them dig that up manually. Yeah, that might make me feel a little better. Thanks, Uncle Henry. Have a great day.
Nevco Bill, thank you for that suggestion. Of course, in modern America, we don't want criminals to really feel the shame from what they have done. We just, for whatever reason, you know, back many generations ago, there were things like stockades and things in a town square. What if instead of making them dig, what if they just had to be in some type of stockade near whatever work was going on at the Pritchard Water System for the length of their term, that they would have to go out whenever there was some project going on where they're trying to repair the pipes? Just have them out there so people could see. Would crime go down if people saw the consequences? You know, people get sent to jail or a prison, and you don't see the consequence. What if it were public? What if it were public? At the very least, what if there were a 24-hour jail cam or a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week prison cam, where part of the punishment was that the people that don't commit crimes can look in and see what's going on in the prison? Might be a deterrent. If you could say, if you could show a kid, hey, this is what happens if you get caught breaking the law. Let's take a look at the video from the state prison. Let's take a look at their lunchtime or whatever it is. I don't know if I've heard the word deterrent in a long time. Used to be talked, when I was a kid, it was always talked about. In fact, the electric chair was talked about as a big deterrent. Do people ever talk about deterrence anymore? All right, there's more coming up. Coming up after the news break, I'll be talking about that Greg Allman documentary.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. There's not much that's sweet in politics these days.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow and weekend. I'll be back on the camera Monday. Thank you.
Your charge is to make sure it's stocked with treats and chocolates. Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin held the candy desk, but when he departed the Senate to run DHS, GOP Oklahoma Senator Alan Armstrong took over Mullin's seat and, perhaps more importantly, his desk in the Senate chamber, and in this case, the candy desk. Shortly after